Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This video is probably going to be a little bit of a rant. If you follow me on Instagram, you probably will have seen this rant before, a couple of weeks ago. It's basically going to be why it annoys me and irritates me when certain people use professional platforms not for what they're meant for, if that made sense. Basically, yes, obviously the title of this video is please stop using LinkedIn as Tinder. I'm actually going to put in a few examples that I mentioned when I had my rant on Instagram, and I posted like the videos then, but I will post some screenshots in this video so you can see what I mean. Basically, I'm going to be linking this into other aspects of business in terms of how gender can come into that, but my main point is going to be about respecting people on a platform, and it is sort of mild, I find it like mild discrimination, to be honest, like when certain people don't speak to you in the way that they should. So basically, the thing that sort of brought this up and made me want to start a video on it, I've had a few different encounters in the past where I feel like I've been treated differently for being female. This isn't me being like feminist or anything like that. Obviously, there's issues in terms of discrimination with both genders, but obviously as I am a girl, then I can speak from a female point of view. I'm happy to hear everybody else's experiences, male or female. But yeah, obviously I only know what I've been through, so I'm gonna share that with you guys today. But basically, so recently on LinkedIn, I had somebody message me, like reply to an outreach message that I'd sent out. So I sent them a link to basically like a value video funnel for LinkedIn stuff. And he replied saying, I mean, I'll put this all in now, but it was basically saying, I'd like to go for dinner with you. And then he was saying like how my voice was really nice, like all this weird stuff. And if you saw my rant on Instagram, it was basically me getting irritated that I'd been reaching out with value to a potential prospect. And this guy is a CEO of a huge company that's been in the news. So he's like this middle-aged man who's meant to be corporate business, professional, suited up, all of that. And he's like, hey, nice voice, let me take you out for dinner. No, that's not the point of LinkedIn. Like the point of LinkedIn is for professionals to network and connect with other like-minded individuals that may be able to add a value to their business, vice versa, create a sort of mutually beneficial relationship. Anyway, not going to get too into that. But so when I had that, I know it seems super mediocre, but it just kind of made me realize that all of these little things that happen, like I had a bunch of girls reply to my story giving me their experiences. I need to move out of this sun. Let me try and like move over here. So I had like a bunch of girls reach out to me with their experiences, and it just like, it's one of those things, you know it happens, but you don't realize to what scale it still does, especially within like, it's the 21st century, like even in like London, these big companies, you'd be surprised at the sort of shit that happens behind their doors. But yeah, so when that happened, I was like, you know what, I need to raise a little bit of awareness. In terms of previous experiences, I could probably sort of explain to give a little bit of context. I will do a bigger video on this in the future, but basically I used to do MLM, which is multi-level marketing. I used to do that for a company in London, and basically we did business to business, like door-to-door selling, direct sales. So we would go with our little charity like t-shirts on, we go to businesses and basically try and get through the gatekeepers to go and pitch somebody in charge, like a manager, CEO, high-level exec, like somebody who was a decision maker, somebody who was in charge. We'd try and get through to those people to then pitch them to sign on to a direct debit for the charity for 12 months. So that was like how I first sort of went into sales properly. Like obviously I've done retail stuff like that, but this was like a real like grit experience in terms of selling. I will go and share some like crazy stories in a future video. I'll bring on some of the people that I used to work with to sort of explain how crazy the whole experience was. But from that, like a few things happened to me, some of the other girls, like nothing like you know, extreme, more verbal. But basically, like, you'd have men tell you, like, I had men tell me that I only had that job because I was pretty and like a young girl, so I was like sent there to basically get money off people because I'm pretty, apparently, and like young. Like, the other girls had it as well. And it's just like super insulting. And when it first happened, I didn't really know what to say because I was quite, believe it or not, a little bit shy, so I wouldn't speak up for myself. But after having a few times, I'd just be like, I'd basically demand respect from them and be like, look, I actually find that quite disrespectful what you've just said to me. The reason I have this job is because I worked my ass off. I went through 4 interviews to get here. Like, I pitched my way into this job. I work 60 hours a week and I cover like miles and miles around London while you sit on your ass in this sofa shop telling me that I only have a job because I'm a girl. Like, like, I'm not gonna swear, but like, like, it's really, really irritating. So things like that, it kind of gets to you, and I'm quite like strong now, so I won't let it affect me, I won't let it stop me. But I know a lot of other girls and females out there might have like a slight experience and it will just put them off from ever pursuing something further in business, and that's kind of sad. So that's why I wanted to sort of talk about it today. It will tie in, actually I could probably just do it in this video, no, I'll do it as a separate video, as to why there aren't many female entrepreneurs within the SMMA space. But I think maybe a factor of that could be due to the fact that maybe girls feel embarrassed or they've been put down. It could be like someone who's joking, it could be a girl or a guy saying it to them, it doesn't really matter, but it could be anybody putting them down in a way that's saying you're not going to get taken seriously because of your age or because of your gender. You might as well not try because you don't really fit the type. And things like that, like, it can really affect somebody, and it would sort of change and shift their mentality into a state where they don't think they can do something just because they've had one bad experience, because obviously we hold on to bad experiences more so than a positive one. So yeah, like, it would have been easy for me to give up at any point and be like, yeah, that guy's true, like, I'm not actually good at what I do, I'm just gonna self-doubt myself and not push forwards. And like, that still did affect me, and it would affect anybody, like any guy, any girl. If somebody tells you that you can't do something, or that you're only there not because of your talent or your capability and skill at the actual job, but because of your gender or your age or your looks, like, you're gonna have self-doubt in the future when something doesn't go well. You might be like, oh, it's because I'm a girl, or oh, it's because I'm young. Like, all of these reasons that don't really mean shit, sorry, but like, it's still there and it still exists. So I think it's better to sort of address it and come up with ways to best handle the situations and prevent them from happening to the best of your ability. I'll do another video about that in terms of body language, tone of voice, all the sort of human psychology behind it. But yeah, so that's kind of what I wanted to cover. Like, another scenario that I had moving into SMMA, this was a few months ago. I basically met with a potential client, I think it was through a cold call or through LinkedIn. Through LinkedIn, met up with a potential client, and they basically said yes to the contract. So I sent it over, and then they sent me a WhatsApp, because I was like, we had WhatsApp obviously, to share information and stuff. And then I said, look, I've sent you over the contract, take a look at it, see if you want to make any amendments. If you're not happy with anything, then I can make a shift, just sign it and then I'll sign it afterwards. And then they replied like, yeah, that's great, thank you so much, I'll sign it this evening. By the way, like, would you like to go for drinks next week? And I was like, I don't think you're trying to just be my friend. Like, I used to be the type of person I'd be like, oh my god, they want to like be my friend, like, I'll be really naive and do it. But now I kind of, I mean, it's not good to do that in all situations, but now I kind of just like question things, and I'm like, like, what's the real motive behind this? It just seems a bit odd. Like, it didn't sound very professional. It wasn't like I'd mentioned a second follow-up meeting for like putting a strategy in place, but it's not like, let's go for cocktails kind of thing. So I kind of replied, and I was like, oh, I'm away with my boyfriend. Like, even though I wasn't, I was like, I'm away with my boyfriend those few days, but we can have a second meeting to follow up on the strategy to implement that, for me to get all of your details and then move forwards. And then he didn't reply. And then I followed up a few days later, like, I have still not received the signed contract. Are you still taking some time to think? Or like, what would you suggest is the next move to be? Like, how much time would you need until I can follow up with you again? And they basically replied like, oh, thank you so much for your time. I don't think we're going to be a good fit for each other. And I was like, you should have said that at the start, or not said yes to the contract and then no after I turned you down, because that's just an ego thing. That's nothing to do with business. So that's like another, I could just go on with like random little scenarios that I know they're nothing too crazy, but it's like all of these little things that really, really like do matter and do affect people. So yeah, like I think that's kind of what I wanted to pick on. But in terms of going back to like the main point of this video, which was LinkedIn, I've seen a few like scenarios and cases where girls have been messaged by men sort of just like hitting on them, commenting on their looks, etc. If you're on LinkedIn, you're not there to flirt. It's not Tinder, it's not sexual compatibility, it's for professional compatibility. So if you think you can add value to someone's business, help make them money, increase their revenue in some way, then yeah, totally message them, but don't message them and comment on their appearances or their looks or anything superficial. It should just be, oh, you have amazing experience in this industry. That's the type of compliments that you should be giving. But for people that especially people that you wouldn't expect it from, obviously I'm stereotyping a little bit, but it's like, if you're the head of a top company, do you really think it's a good look for you to be going messaging younger girls on LinkedIn of all places, asking them out? Like, if you're that desperate, get a dating app, like go somewhere else to send those messages on LinkedIn, especially if me or like anybody else has sent out value to you or asked you a professional question in terms of moving forwards with business, seeing if you're a good fit. Don't then completely disregard any value that's been put out and just comment on looks. Like it's one of those things, like it's so annoying. So yeah, I think that's kind of gone on for long enough. I hope that all made sense. I get a bit excited when I tell stories, so everything kind of crosses over and I get a bit confused. But yeah, like comment down below if you have any further questions or if you maybe want me to cover more content on this kind of stuff. As I said earlier, I will do another video going more into depth in terms of action steps that you can take to maybe prevent situations like this arising, how to deal with them effectively, and how to get taken seriously by anybody, regardless of your age or your gender or your appearance. So yeah, I think that's everything. If you guys have had your own experiences, obviously you don't have to put it publicly in the comments below, but you can DM me on Instagram, you can message me, Facebook, whatever, connect with me on LinkedIn, however you want to do it. I'll put all my links below in the bio. But yeah, thank you for watching. Sorry for ranting. I hope that sheds some light, and if you felt like you were alone at some point, then you're not. It happens to a lot of people, and it can be prevented and it should be spoken about more, because I think the more people speak about it, it will become more embarrassing to those that are actually still doing shit like this. So yeah, I hope this helped, and I will see you in the next video.